So the questions that I asked this evening, MK Stalin or Amit Shah, who is speaking the truth on delimitation? Should the government come clean or no loss to South assertion? DMK fueling delimitation hysteria in Tamil Nadu is what the BJP suggests, but what most southern parties have made it clear is that South states will be penalized for what was mandated and asked of states across the country, population control. All right, let's cut across to our political face-off this evening. Anil K. Anthony, National Spokesperson, BJP. A. Sarvana, Spokesperson, DMK, with us. The latest A. Sarvana coming in, where you've had your Chief Minister, who's come out and actually asked for people to have more kids. Many say you're trying to play in on the regional psyche of the citizens of your state. You are fear-mongering, you are whipping up a hysteria where none of this should exist.
Yeah, see, all this so-called hysteria, so-called fear-mongering and whatnot, the division and everything could be just quelled by a written assurance from the Prime Minister. And why is he not doing that? See, this is a very, very real issue. We are not talking something which is imaginary. We are not whipping up passion. This is a constitutional mandate. The 2001 84th Amendment has frozen for 25 years, and this 25 years ends in 2026. And cleverly, see, if you look at cumulatively what the BJP has done so far, they have played like a chess game, everything to checkmate the southern states. They have not conducted the census immediately after the 2024 elections, which they promised on the floor of the assembly. Why are they doing that? Because the census that takes place immediately after 2026 will be taken into account. In the normal course of things, the census would have taken place only in 2031. So they could have done this delimitation exercise only after 2031. But they cleverly, cunningly did not conduct this census before 2026, and they intend to do this census after 2026 and usher in this delimitation immediately. And look at their flippant statements. Oh, it will be on pro rata. You don't have to worry, your seats will not come down. The delimitation is a complex issue. It cannot be wished away by this mere flippant statements of these BJP leaders. We need assurance. You are saying your seats will not be reduced. So what does it mean? Does it mean that the seats of the other person, if the seats of the other states, highly populous states, are increased, where are we? What will happen to us? Oh, it will happen on the basis of pro rata. If it happens on the basis of pro rata, again we will be penalized. See, the most important crux is this: 13.49%. That is the leverage. That is the percentage of seats we hold when compared to this 544 seats. 39 out of 544 is 13.49%.
Mr. Sarvana, it's going to be a hard cut. Your time is up. I'll come back to you in 2 minutes. I want to bring in Anil Anthony. Anil Anthony, before we begin, just want to quickly apprise you. It's a 2-minute counter for you to put in your views, and then we'll go back to Mr. Sarvana. The question, Anil Anthony, is you yourself come from the state of Kerala. You understand the dynamics of delimitation. What's so wrong if the government is asked today to come clean on what is the formula? Because whichever formula one looks at presently seems to suggest that the South will lose out, because every formula is going to come at the back of demography, population, one person, one vote.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to say that right now the opposition has clearly run out of ideas after the Lok Sabha election, after the recent elections. This so-called India alliance has been comprehensively rejected by the people, and now they are coming up with hypothetical situations and they are coming up with imaginary issues. It is nowhere. It is the Constitution of India that clearly states that finally delimitation exercise has to happen at some point of time. It has happened multiple times in our country's history. Census is a regular process that happens every 10 years from 1951 onwards. Every 10 years it has been happening. In 2021, because of 3-4 years of the pandemic, 3 years of the pandemic, it is slightly delayed. But the process is ongoing. And the delimitation also, there were 4 times it has happened before, after the 51, 61 and 71 census. The delimitation committees were there, and in 73, that was the last time where a delimitation committee actually suggested something. But in 1976, there was a 42nd constitutional amendment which froze the process for 25 years. Then 2021, there was another census, and after that 2002, 2001 there was a census, 2002 again the delimitation committee has frozen it for another 25 years. Now that time is coming. But our Home Minister has very clearly said, it is in Tamil Nadu itself in Coimbatore, where 2 days back our Home Minister clearly said that no states will be losing seats. But at the same time, the census is happening. The census should be completed in the upcoming months. And then finally, the Bharatiya Janata Party is constitutionally bound to protect constitutional provisions. And we will ensure that every person in this country will be getting their constitutionally guaranteed rights, their constitutionally guaranteed provisions. And this is what the so-called India Alliance members are now opposing. Mr. Rahul Gandhi himself, he wanted to do census and he wanted to redistribute. Yes.
All right, sir. Okay, your time, no, you still have 3 seconds. I'll give you 3 seconds earlier in the next one. But Mr. A. Sarvanan, coming back, to you, the fact is, India has been living with the anomaly of disproportionate distribution of Lok Sabha seats, many would suggest. And historically, if you look at it, the North has had more in terms of population and demography. And the true spirit of democracy would be that a fair, census happens and delimitation happens on the basis of demography. There could be a percentage fall for the South, but it's not going to be more than 5-6%.
Yeah. See, Preeti, that's what I was talking about, this 13.49%. This 13.49% is what we have been enjoying for the last 50 years. So why should suddenly it be taken away 5 or 6%? It matters because if you look at it in the last 10 years, none of the parties from the state of Tamil Nadu has been part of the union government. We were not able to contribute to the union government. So what has happened to the state of Tamil Nadu? We have been sidestepped. We have been treated like, we have been given a stepmotherly treatment. We are not getting enough funds. On top of that, the question is why the BJP wants to do this. 1971, in 2001, they froze with regard to the 1971 census. Why did they do that in 2001? Because the population control measures kicked in after 1970s. So even after that, the North Indian states did not adhere. They did not follow this population control measures. So it was disproportionate. I told you there is equal protection of laws. The Indian Constitution offers equal protection of laws. So we are at a disadvantageous situation because we followed the diktats of the union government and contributed to the growth of India's economy. If you look at the states which have lesser population, their human development indexes is high. Their economic growth is high. When the states grow economically, it means India becomes a superpower. If the North Indian states have also controlled this population on the levels of the South India, India could have been economically still more prosperous. So whatever we are looking at, we should not, the BJP is looking at all these things only with a narrow prism of winning elections, narrow prism of staying in power. BJP should look at the larger picture. They should not just work for Hindustan. India's beauty lies in its diversity. BJP should accept this diversity and promote this diversity, but they are obsessed. They have this toxic obsession with this oneness. That is their undoing. And definitely we are not going to listen or we are going to believe what Mr. Ambedkar says. He's the most
Mr. Antony, I want to bring you back. Sir, hold that thought. I'll come back to you. Mr. Antony, I want to bring you back into this conversation. You said that the Home Minister, Amit Shah, has made it very clear that there is going to be no loss in parliamentary representation when it comes down to the southern states. On what basis, sir? Because even I think journalistic inquisition also demands to ask, how is this formula being worked out that the southern states don't really lose out? Because I would think, Mr. Antony, any formula will be on the basis of demography, population. And with that sense, the South will move out. So what is the formula that is going to be adopted that will suggest that the southern states will not lose out? Or, or will they not lose out? So 39 Lok Sabha seats for Tamil Nadu will remain. However, you will have an exponential rise in Lok Sabha seats for states like UP and Bihar. Is that going to be the formula?
This is not a time for sloganeering. As I already said before, Mr. Rahul Gandhi during the national election, one of his biggest issues he was raising was actually a caste census, where he wanted to do a caste census and then he wanted to give reservations, and he wanted to do redistribution based on caste, religion, etc., which is not allowed in the constitution. At the same time, it is the Constitution of India itself that says that there has to be a census and there has to be a delimitation process. So this is something that is mandated in our Constitution, and the Bharatiya Janata Party is a responsible government, and we are having the responsibility to ensure that we uphold constitutional principles. And it has already happened multiple times, like my esteemed panelists also said. In 73, there was a delimitation commission. And at that point of time, states including Tamil Nadu had 41 seats in 1970 before that, but it became 39. Some states did lose out at that point of time. But in 76, finally there was a constitutional amendment which froze it for 25 years. 2001, again there was a census, and after that there is a freeze for 25 years. Now the time is approaching, but at this point, like our Home Minister has made it clear that nobody is going to lose seats. But then let the census be out, let the census be over, and then let us look at who is going to lose, who is going to, finally, delimitation is based on population, that is true. But at the same time, I am very sure that our government will be looking at all the avenues, and finally, we will ensure that constitutionally guaranteed provisions and rights are given to our people. So there is no way of anybody treated fairly. There is no question of this being any particular victimization against southern states. There could be other states in other places also. In western parts, there are many other states, including opposition states, which are currently governed by the opposition, which are also going to have a rise. So even, let's say, states like West Bengal, etc., also had a population rise which is much bigger than many of the southern states.
All right. Okay, so one quick 1 minute each to the both of you. Mr. Saravanan, I'll give you 1 minute to explain what is going to be your focus in the all-party meeting on the 5th of this month.
Yeah, see, the focus on this all-party meeting is to ensure that the union government comes up with a foolproof measure which will not diminish our political representation. We don't want to be politically marginalized because the BJP suddenly wakes up and says, no, constitution says it has to go by population, we'll go by population. And none of their assurances are going to cut ice. Definitely those assurances made on political platforms. And our Chief Minister, Mr. M.K. Stalin, has made it very, very clear that it has to be a written assurance from the Prime Minister, and which will have to be acceptable to all the states. The southern states, I think all of them are on the same page. This move is being supported by the Karnataka Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah, the Andhra Chief Minister, Mr. Revant Reddy, the Kerala Chief Minister, Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, and of course, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, not long back, spoke about having more children. He has visualized this problem. He will come along. He is a strong supporter of federalism. So he'll come and support us.
I want to bring in, I want just one quick, minute, Mr. Antony, to you. The fact is, Mr. Antony, the BJP will stand to lose out here because even your own allies, Chandrababu Naidu might not have said anything, but his own MPs have gone on record to suggest that delimitation is going to be very unfair for the state of Andhra Pradesh. So you're not only alienating your own constituency in the south, but also your allies.
What exactly is the opposition proposal here? That is what, first of all, the Bharatiya Janata Party would like to ask. What exactly is the opposition actually proposing? Because this is something which is mandated by our constitution, and we are bound to follow constitutional principles. First, let the census come out, and once the census come out, let us look at what is the situation. I am very sure that there will be multiple states across India where population has increased. There will be some states where population might have decreased. In 1973, itself, like I mentioned, Tamil Nadu did lose 2 seats at that point of time. But this time our leadership, our Home Minister has very clearly said nobody is going to lose any seat. But let us follow constitutional provisions, and at the same time there will be consensus also. It will be done in a manner which is fair, where constitutionally mandated rights are given to everybody. But here, our opposition is just they are politicizing the issue by saying that Prime Minister should give a written statement. Why should he give a written statement now? First, let the census be over. And
all right. Okay, that's all the time that I have for now, Mr. Saravanan. I know you want to come in, but we're going to let it rest. I appreciate both of you for joining us. The all-party meeting is on the 5th of March, which Mr. M.K. Stalin has called. Will the rhetoric keep rising? Yes. Will there be clarity? We'll let you know sooner than later.